Where do I get my supplies for my jumping spiders and other inverts? Let's find out in this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to Spooderpods. I am David and today I am discussing where I get my invert supplies here in the UK. A lot of you have asked for this video, so I thought I would share the places I like to buy from. Now these are all my personal opinion, but I find that these places have been consistent with their service and always responsive to questions. I'm going to be covering where I get my live food, where I get the inverts themselves, where I get my enclosures, and also where I get all of my decor and bits and pieces that I put in those enclosures. So let's start off with the enclosures themselves. I tend to go to two places as my mainstay for this. The first place is Arachnospace. I have a soft spot for tarantula crib enclosures. I think they're awesome. I love the different shapes, the high quality of them, and while they're maybe a bit pricier, I really do prefer them due to the build quality. My other go-to is a place called Enclosures. I really like them because they build very sort of consistent plain enclosures which are great for all types of different inverts, and I really sort of like using them for filming. When I want something extra special, I'll go to Arachnospace. When I want something that's just going to look nice on my shelf, it's going to fit in with all my other enclosures, I go to Enclosure. Now, you're probably waiting for this bit because I know a lot of people have been asking about this. Where do I actually get my jumping spiders and other inverts from? And there's quite a few places I like to buy from, but I've got a few favourites which I'll cover first. A place I've discovered recently and I like a lot because they have such a wide variety of all sorts, like jumping spiders, beetles, mantids, tarantulas, is a place called the Spider Shop. And I sort of initially just started buying from them at shows. I never really realised they had a sort of big web store. And then I started buying from them there, and they have a lot of stuff basically. So it's sort of a one-stop shop almost if you're a bit nervous about buying from those different places, and that's why I like them. I'll have a link in the description, which is affiliate, I must declare, but it will be no extra cost to you, and it's a place I would recommend for getting lots of great stuff. Another place I really like for getting jumping spiders is jumpingspiders.co.uk or Jumping Spiders Web. They have a wide variety of mostly jumping spiders, including other bits like decor and some enclosures. But they are very consistent in their quality. They generally fix problems quite quickly, and they just basically specialise in jumping spiders, which is something I really like about them. Somewhere I've shopped before and I do go back to occasionally is called Mantis House. They have a wide variety of mantises. They've been stocking other sorts of species, but I tend to just stick to buying my mantids from there. They also have decor and other bits and pieces as well, and I noticed they started doing live food too. What I like about them is while they're not as responsive to messages, the consistency of packaging and the quality of the actual animals, they look all really nice and healthy, is very good there. And finally, another couple of places I bought from is a place called bugnuts.co.uk and Invertebrates, which you'll hear a little bit about later in the video. These places have a nice sort of selection of tarantulas and other bits and pieces, but not quite as wide a selection as the other places I've mentioned. So where do I get my live food from? The first place I tend to go to is a place called Live Food Direct. I like them because they're very quick with their postage, and generally the quality of the live food is good, especially for fruit flies, where other places are very inconsistent and tend to provide like rubbish amounts of them. You can also get your live food from the Spider Shop, but sometimes it can take a little bit longer to arrive from what I can tell on their website. But if you're buying stuff from there already, you can get your live food at the same time, which is an awesome thing, I think. Another place that's quite useful for live food, especially on an emergency basis, is eBay. I get a lot of my fly casters from eBay, and it's great because you can just buy that one item. It's usually free postage, and you can just have them ticking away in the background in case you run out of other live food, because sometimes it doesn't last as long, especially if you get locusts. Finally, let's talk about scenery. Now the Spider Shop actually has loads of scenery, which I'm a little bit annoyed about because I didn't actually check before I bought my last order from them, so I'd have added loads of scenery to them, so they've got a big selection there. I really love the bearded shrimp as well, especially for smaller pieces of scenery, for jumping spiders and the like. You can get your colour customised, the shipping is a very low threshold, you can get loads of goodies on there. Invertebrates have an awesome selection of scenery, and again you can customise it. You've basically got some great stuff on there, so I'd highly recommend checking them out for scenery, especially if they're having a sale. The postage can be a little bit higher than other places, but generally it's worth it, especially if you're doing a bigger order. I've got a lot of their scenery and I do plan to get some more in the future. Final recommendations for scenery, Jumping Spiders Web has a few bits of scenery, not as big a selection of other places, but if you're looking for live plants especially, they got some great stuff, or just doing a couple of eBay searches, you'll often find that things that are suitable for fish tanks will be suitable for your inverts too. So there you go, that's my quick guide to where I get my jumping spider and other invert bits in the UK. If you have any other recommendations, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments, but in the meantime, take care and see you later.